We got fires showing on the outside of the structure. Give it better size up in the moment.
Hi and welcome to the VeeSim version 2 video update. I will briefly run over each menu configuration setting for those who have not used VeeSim before. In this video, I will refer to zones within the building, even though VeeSim can be set to label areas as levels or zones. The first two buttons are the training panel and run simulation buttons. These both simulate an EWIS panel based on the configuration settings from the setup menu. The total number of levels or zones button is based on your license. In this demo, we have a maximum of 50 zones and a minimum of 3 zones. Your license will set your maximum number of zones. The active number of whip phones allows you to set the whip phones per zone to suit the building you are simulating. The cascade time between evacuation steps allows you to set the cascade time, and this applies to both alert and evacuation tones. Cascade time can be from a minimum of 30 seconds to a maximum of 600 seconds or 10 minutes. The number of levels or zones in each cascade allows you to tailor the cascade sequence to the building you are simulating. Next up is levels or zones. Select the option you prefer. Using the single or multiple panel setting allows you to simulate multiple EWIS panels. This is a new function in version 2 of VeeSim. The number of zones you can simulate per panel depends on the size, resolution, and orientation of your monitor. For this demo, I have used a 1920 by 1080 resolution monitor in landscape mode. The standard setting for VeeSim is a single panel. To display 10 zones in a single panel, enter 10 in the total number field, then press the training panel button. The 10 zone EWIS panel will be displayed with the correct number of whips active. To set up multiple panels, enter the number of zones required, in this example 22. Select multiple panels. Enter the number of panels required, in this example 2, and press enter. Once you enter the number of panels, the system will automatically set each panel with an optimal number of zones based on the total zones to be displayed. A maximum number of zones per panel will be displayed. You can set the number of zones per panel, but the total must add up to the maximum number entered. Once you have set up the panels, press close and then press training panel on the main setup window. The panel configuration you have selected will be displayed. To run a simulation for this setting, return to the main setup window and run the simulation. To reset the panel back to a single panel, simply enter a new total number of zones and select single panel. The maximum number of peeps setting allows you to set the maximum number of people with a personal emergency evacuation plan per zone. The maximum number of peeps is 5. The next 3 settings use their sliders to set the simulator response. Percentage of whips with peeps sets the approximate percentage of whips that will report peeps when the floor warden reports that the zone is clear. Percentage of warden miscellaneous calls sets an approximate number of whips that will call once the alert tone is sounded. These calls will require a varying level of response. Percentage of wardens failing to advise peeps sets the number of wardens who will not report the number of peeps when they call to advise their zone is clear. If the chief warden realizes that no peeps have been reported and they call the whip back immediately, the warden will report the number of peeps. If they do not act quick enough, the warden will be gone. The display monitor, EWIS speaker output, and whip phone output allow you to configure VeeSim depending on the monitors, headphones, or external handsets connected. For example, if you have a monitor with speakers connected to your laptop, you can have VeeSim displaying on the external monitor and the EWIS tones sounding on the monitor speakers can be directed to an external handset connected via the audio socket. The volume level is adjusted by using the volume slider. The EWIS panel LED color can be selected as required by clicking on the LED colors displayed. The display peeps count during simulation allows the instructor to display the number of peeps reported by the wardens as they report over the whip phone. The peep counter is displayed on the right-hand side of the zone during the simulation. The number of emergency sources allows the EWIS panel to simulate multiple alarms on separate zones. The maximum is 3. Once you select 2 or 3 sources, the Set Emergency Locations window will be displayed. Double-click on the time delay. Enter the delay time required, then press Enter. The maximum setting is 600 seconds. Double-click on each source origin to set the zone locations of each alarm. Press Enter to save the settings. Once all settings have been entered, press Close. The Change Alarm Sequence button will now be displayed on the setup window and can be used to change the settings. To reset VeeSim back to one alarm source, just change the number of emergency sources to 1. With only one emergency source selected, the Emergency Location Zone option will be displayed. This allows you to select the emergency location level or leave the option as randomized, and each simulation will start at a random location. Thanks for watching this video. If you need any other information, see the FAQs in the product or online.